The secret to success in life, especially sales or building a team, is paying attention to your signature feeling in human design.
Some people can get lost in that daily method where they're like, but I need to do this every day, and then it feels exhausting. And so for me as a projector, now I'm bitter and resentful of this list that I have to do, so I don't want to do it.
The strategy for projectors is what's called wait to be invited. The reason that this is because projectors are so sensitive to the energies of others. There really needs to be a clear invitation from somebody else before engaging in a new opportunity, relationship, or project.
Hello, you guys. Welcome to this week's episode of the Expand and Evolve podcast. I'm so excited because we have Alison Cullen joining us again. You do woo. She's going to be talking all about human design, and I asked her specifically to keep it around business for each design type. So for you guys, if you're in business and you're trying to figure out like, how does my human design serve me? Why does this matter? This episode is going to be very, very helpful for you to understand like how you can utilize your human design to work your business in the most aligned way for your type. So without further ado, and that seems like so formal. I'm like, why was that going to come out of my mouth? So I want to pass it to you. You maybe just reintroduce yourself a little bit. If no one's listened to the previous episode that we did together, and share a little bit about how human design can benefit your business and why this matters and why you should know your design type so that you can work in alignment with literally how you're built.
Yay. I'm so excited. My name's Alison. I have been doing business coaching since I was about 21. I'm 41 now, so 20 years. And I used to do it for people in the music industry. And I came upon human design a while ago. It was like 2018 or something. Just found out my type, which I'm a generator, which is not very rare. It's not as rare as Carly's type, projector. And it was interesting and very much resonated, but it wasn't until 2020 that I basically got kicked out of the music industry and had to pivot, shift careers, and started studying and teaching human design and applying it to business coaching in that way. And so many of my, probably about 30% of my clients are network marketing people, gals mainly. Most of my clients are women. It's just they're interested in human design usually, so it is what it is. But I do coach men sometimes. But human design is, I think, a must for you at least need to dip your toe in if you are in some sort of sales or team building career, which is what most network marketing is a combination of sales of products or a service and then team building. Sometimes different companies have it set up different ways, but we're going to talk about those two aspects of the network marketing company. But the reason that human design is just a necessity is because human design and basically unlearning certain things, which we're going to go through, is what helps elevate your vibration and just attract to you the things that you desire, the things that you need to promote to the next level or get to whatever paycheck you're wanting or grow your team a certain amount or whatever. And I'm going to, I had like a little game planned, Carly, and I want to play a game, but I'm going to do it at the end because it doesn't have to do with human design, but it does explain an aspect of it. And so I'm just going to save it. I'm just going to save it for the end for everybody. And I'm going to dive into just applying human design to network marketing. If you do not know your human design type yet, just pause. I'm giving Carly the link to go find it out very easily. You do need your date of birth and time of birth. If you don't know your exact time of birth, send me a DM on Instagram at YouDoWoo and I can help you out with that. A lot of times it can be guess and check, and sometimes we can play around with it. So just holler at me. But most people know their date of birth and the city and state, and that is the information that you need. Go back and listen to our human design episode from a little over a year ago because it goes into detail just about the types, and that's really interesting. But so in network marketing, basically what we're looking at is we have 5 types of people, and there's 4 basic categories. So you're either a projector like Carly, which is about 20% of the population, and a lot of projectors are attracted to network marketing. So don't be surprised if you have a ton of projectors on your team.
Mm.
Then there's generators and mani-gens like me. And then there's reflectors, which is pretty rare, but I'm chatting with one girl who's in network marketing and really successful as a reflector. I think she's on your team, Carly. And then manifestors, which is 7% of the population. So we're going to backtrack a little bit, but I'm going to tell you something that is like really a little bit jarring. And then we'll go from there. Manifestors, which is 7% of the population, if you're following human design to a T, those are the only people who do reach outs. And don't freak out, because I'm going to teach you guys how to like baby step, tiptoe into this. Because a lot of times being like, don't do reach outs is like a freak out. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to get people on my team? You can do reach outs and you can do it from an authentic place. And we're going to talk about that
Yes.
for each type. And once you hit a level in knowing your human design and using your superpowers, you won't even have to do reach outs anymore. So I hope that gives some people some relief of knowing that, like, really getting to know themselves and really leaning into their human design and elevating to a certain frequency. It's like you're just a magnet that's attracting clients, sales, the people to your team, the people who actually want to be on your team, not that you're going to have to force to do stuff or check in with all the time, or,
Right.
like, not energy vampires, like people who are go-getters and self-starters and want more than you do, right? That you won't even have to spend a whole lot of time or energy on. I think most people who have been successful in network marketing are like, oh, I just went and launched myself, pretty much. Like I just did, they're the self starters, right?
Anyone who, yeah. And I think there's a level of encouragement that's needed for a lot of new people, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you come into network marketing and you're brand new, and if you are in more of a leadership where you're trying to figure out how to lead a team and how to lead other people, there is a level of encouragement, but not pulling. Like I was doing a training call the other day and I said on it, someone asked like, but what if you can't, what if there's no one to talk to? I said, I don't know how to help you with that. Like if you cannot find a single human to talk to, this may not be the industry you should be in. Because if you don't have a network, you either have to go build one and create one, or don't. Like I just am like, if any business you need people, so I'm like, maybe don't build a business if you have no people. I don't know, but I was like, I don't know how to coach you when you say that you don't know how to talk to humans. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, that's outside of the scope of this, right? Like I say, if you don't know how to have normal social skills, if you don't know how to talk to people, if you don't know how to network and build relationships, like that is something so outside of network marketing's space to coach you and teach you. Like that's something you need to go figure out on like how to build interpersonal relationships.
Yep.
This is for the people who are wanting to build their network marketing business. And specifically, we're going to lean more towards network marketing, but I feel like you could still take all of this and apply it to any business you're building
Yep.
on your
Totally.
human design type, right? For attracting
Totally.
clientele.
Yeah. And keep that in mind too, Carly. You might want to share this and say, hey, for sure, if you're in network marketing, listen to this, but any type of sales,
Oh,
if you're
totally.
starting a business, this is very applicable. It is, I'm centering it to network marketing. But okay, so the secret to success in life, but especially sales or building a team, is paying attention to your signature feeling in human design. And Carly, I don't think we talked about this last time. There's like hours and hours of human design that I could
Is
share
this
with.
like where you're either bitter or you're feeling success? Like as a
Yes.
projector? Okay.
Yes. Yes. So the not self theme is the bitterness. So
Mm,
I don't even want to go there because basically there's nothing wrong with feeling you're not self. It just means that you are not acting like a projector. You are not seeing your superpowers. You are working too much. You are like, like putting too much pressure on yourself, comparing yourself, blah, blah, blah. The signature feeling is what we want to pay attention to. So once you've figured out what human design type you are, I really want you to like pause and like write this down. If you're a projector, your signature is success. And I'm going to go into each of these. If you're a manifester, your signature is peace. If
mm.
you're a generator or mani-gen, your signature is satisfaction. And if you're a reflector, your signature is surprise. I want to talk about satisfaction really quick because this is 70% of the population. Satisfaction can be found in so many things. I mean, the weirdest example is like, Miss Dr. Pimple Popper or whatever, like people are like, oh my God, popping a pimple, so satisfying. I know that's gross and weird, and maybe not everybody feels this way. I mean, I don't know, cleaning my sink is sometimes really satisfying, or emptying a junk drawer, or doing a freaking hard workout, or making sure I have 10 quick things that I'm doing and it takes me 40 minutes to do my whole to-do list in 40
Right.
minutes, right? So wake up in the morning if you're a manifesting generator and say, what would make me by the end of the day feel really satisfied?
Mm.
And it's not always like logically like what do I think I need to do? What does my to-do list say? What does everybody else want me to do? How can I get, everybody off my back, or email inbox to zero or whatever? No. We're not thinking about other people. We're not people pleasing. We're putting ourselves first. We're putting our desire for satisfaction first. What would make me feel satisfied? And people can reach out to me about this too, because sometimes they might have questions about that. But like
But that's so
satisfaction,
true. I was
you
just
know,
gonna say, because like that's not my type, you could say. But even the other day, it's like I had so many things on my to-do list, but I needed to get through the laundry room.
hmm
And it's like that could be the thing that, even though you have all these other things you could be doing, it's like you may need to go with the thing that's going to actually satisfy you the most,
hmm
which could be something that's not the to-do list, you could
yeah,
say. Because you're going to
yeah,
feel like, oh, like I needed that. And then it gives you fresh perspective and like space
yeah.
for more creativity. Yeah.
And let me use this as an example. So for like your network marketing daily dues or whatever,
Yeah.
first of all, I feel like everybody should curate that list to
For them.
themselves and what like works best for them. And some people need a weekly due
Yep.
instead of a daily due, because some, especially like manifestors or manigens, might work more on a weekly schedule and they might not do daily reach out. So they might have like on Tuesday, they're on fire and they reach out to 100 people, and then sort of slowly get back to those people throughout the next 6 days. Does that make sense? So
Yeah. Can we speak on this for a sec?
yeah.
Because maybe to design types, because this is something that I found, like those daily method for success and daily do's and every day you need to do this. I can't function like that. And I don't know if there's certain types that cannot
Mhm.
do, like, I don't function in a linear everyday same thing. I can't stand it actually. So
Mhm.
I work almost more on a month cycle for myself. It's like each
Mhm.
month I have things I know I need to do at some point in the month, but I'm better at focusing on, like, let's say it is, I know I need to have some reach outs because I need new people in my calendar, let's say. Or I might have a day where I'm like, oh, I haven't done follow ups all month. So I do all my follow ups in one day. Like I work really well, my brain, task oriented. So it's like, if I'm going to do follow ups, I'm going to do all the follow ups at one
Mhm.
time. And then I don't have to think about
Yep.
it for the rest of the month. So that's me
Yep.
personally, where it's like everything on that daily method for success, if you're in network marketing, every single task on there is very, very, very important to your business. But you may be the type that needs to learn the habit, so you need to do it every day. You also may be the type that that's exhausting, and so you may need to learn like a weekly schedule. You need a monthly schedule. It's you figuring out what works best for you. And I don't know if that's related to human design type also,
Yep.
but if you want to speak on that, because I think some people can get lost in that daily method where they're like, but I need to do this every day, and then it feels exhausting. And so for me as a projector, now I'm bitter and resentful of this list that I have to do,
Mhm.
so I don't want to do it. And so it's like, yeah, you got to figure that out for you.
Mhm. So a lot of times it's not by type that is that like scheduling. It is the arrows. You know those little arrows, and
Oh
like
yeah.
so it's near the head looking part of the
Mhm.
chart. And you guys, if you're new to human design, do not get overwhelmed with like the shapes and the colors and the lines. Like just come to me. I will show you how to read it layman's terms, like you're a toddler starting out. Like it was hard, really hard for me to not get overwhelmed. There's four arrows in your chart, and the bottom left arrow tells whether you're structured or not.
Ah,
So that is like a thing to look at. And a lot of times the people who do well on structure, I do. I like to have the same few things and like schedule every day just for like 3 hours. The rest of my day I like to sort of go with the flow. I have
mhm,
a 5-year-old, so you sort of have to be that way. But for like, I really sort of want and need 3 hours of my day every day to be the same, to just be like, I do these things and that. And I'm very, very structured in that way. A lot of people are more go with the flow, where they need either a weekly
mhm,
task list or a monthly. And Carly, that's cool that you said that yours is more monthly. That's the goal for all women, honestly, because first of all, we're supposed to be like in tune with our cycle, not on birth control, following the moon, like all, and don't, I'm sorry, I'm getting like
No,
on a
get
whole
woo.
thing,
We
a thing.
no, like even months means moon, and I'm like that we're
Yeah.
all whacked out because we think there's 30 days, but there's actually 28 days, and we should all be focusing on the 28-day cycle.
Yeah.
But whatever. So it's like realigning yourself with that.
Yes. And so usually everybody's different, but usually if you start tracking, when somebody comes to work with me, I have them start tracking their energy levels for 90 days to see where they are, and like also tracking their menstrual cycle if they have one, and
Mhm.
tracking all of that with the moon, the full moon, the new moon, blah, blah, blah. And basically, the more feminine energy that you have, the more in sync you're going to be with the moon, and the more that you're going to actually schedule your work and all of that stuff on a monthly basis. A lot of times women have more social ability and more, get out there and get seen and do reach outs and stuff around ovulation time, because we're
Yep.
meant to be effing at that time and like being social,
Yeah.
right?
I was just gonna say because I'm gonna be near my ovulation, and I'm like, I'm an animal. Like
Yes.
and it is the effing thing because I'm like, I look around. This is just a side note because I
Yep.
noticed it yesterday at the gym, and I was like, everyone becomes a prospect, and my
Yes.
testosterone is through the roof, and
Yep.
I'm like ready to conquer the world and every man. Like it's like I'm like I feel like a dude at
Yeah.
ovulation. It's kind of crazy, and I'm like, whoa. When you start to pay attention every single time, and then like a week later, I'm like, what was happening? Like none
Yeah.
of these people are attractive, but I was like ready to pounce.
I mean, honestly, that would, I know not everybody's like that now, and we
Yeah.
have a lot of control issues and we have a lot of masculine energy. So ease into this, you guys. Like don't be like, okay, I can only do reach outs once a month, blah. Just ease into it. But the
Yes.
more feminine you become, the more magnetic you become, the more in tune with nature and your higher self, and the more that you unlearn all of this shit societal conditioning that we've been taught, the more you'll just probably do your reach outs at ovulation time and be
Literally.
really magnetic.
Yep. Yeah, you
So,
do. You become magnetic because what I found too, like, let's talk on the cycle for a sec before we jump back to human design. But I found for me, it's so much resistance if I try to, let's say 5 days before my period, have to do the event or have to do all the tasks because I didn't do them earlier in the month. Like I feel resistance toward it and I'm annoyed toward it. And it's like, that's not the energy you want to come from when you're building your business either. So for me, I keep more the admin stuff. Like I don't feel like showing my face. I don't really feel like talking to a lot of people. If I know that, that's the perfect time for me to schedule follow-ups because
yep.
I don't need to be forward facing. It's just like quick, easy messages. I can do it from my couch. I don't have to move. So it's like I know that about myself and it's more that admin type stuff. Leave
Mhm.
it for when you know that you're not going to want to have your face on camera and like do the live and do the event and like be all out
Mhm.
there. That's when I like to do that type of stuff.
Yep. And I know that there's people listening who are like, well, cool, Carly, cool for you. You're at the top of your company. So you have the, you have the, what is it called? At your leisure to be
Yeah,
able to do this stuff once a month. I will say that we waste so much time and energy just like freaking scrolling on
totally.
Instagram, doing sort of like fake reach outs where you're not like totally into it, or you're just doing it to like cross it
Or
off
you're
your
just
list.
watching every other network marketer.
Yeah. Yeah. So like put your blinders on, mute literally everyone that is in another company or makes you feel like lack or makes you people please or makes you feel comparison or whatever.
Mhm.
And just start implementing some of these things. So like don't be like, "Oh, well, Carly can do that cuz she's already at XYZ level." No. You can do this too, and maybe you don't only do your reach outs on your ovulation day, but maybe you do them more so in that week, and
Yes.
then just do follow ups or admin stuff or reaching out to your current clients and following up with your current clients all the other time. But when you're wanting to be really magnetic and attract new rock stars to your team, you're going to want to feel juicy and satisfied and successful and magnetic and ovulating. Yeah.
Yeah, when your lips are juicy, do the juicy stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like,
So,
it's real life. Your face feels plumper. Like, you just feel better. And so
Yeah.
you do have a magnetism about you. And it's like lean into that and understand when you're starting to look at your month and pay attention to this. If you know, like, okay, around ovulation, which is what usually typically day 10 to 14 for a lot of
Mhm.
people, it's like, okay, day 10 after your period, about 10 days after your period, if you know that week, like 7 to 14, for example, is your most energized time, you pre-schedule your calendar. If you are that scheduled person who likes structure, you pre-schedule to know, like, these are the days I'm going to focus on that. And you could be creating your list of who you want to talk to.
Mhm.
You could be getting all of that stuff ready beforehand, but like those are the days that you're going to like be like, boom, this is what I'm doing. And then, like she said, you can do follow-ups. Like, there's going to be other days you feel magnetic and awesome and you want to still send messages, go for it.
Mhm.
But just like, you can structure your life around that when you start to pay attention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than like this 9 to 5 week schedule that we're on. And we've all been conditioned, if we went to traditional school too, where we feel like, hey, Monday to Friday, I need to be on and I need to be doing. And it's like, that's not always going to be how it works. Like a Sunday could be your most energized day. And it's like, fall into that and listen to that.
Yeah. So generators and MGs, you want to tap into satisfaction. Projectors, success. And this is an interesting thing because we are conditioned, not wired, we are conditioned to see success as, oh, I had a $10,000 day, or that 5 people said yes to me, or whatever. Do not attach the feeling of success to an external event or person. Only put things that'll make you feel successful as things you have total control over. So like every day, I'm a generator, my husband's a projector. Every day I get up and I'm like, hey, what by the end of the day would make you feel successful? And he's like, if I could just like get this task done and feel good about this, and like feel like he's a maker, like he makes things, he's like whatever, he makes a lot of different things, he's creative. And he's like, if I could like finish this little one thing that I have had on my board for a long time, like that would feel so good to have a completed project. And I'm like, okay, I will do what I like, I'll take Caroline, you get that done.
Yeah.
One thing that projectors have, which is beautiful, is that projectors very much like to be seen. So a lot of times their success, it feels even better if other people see their success. And eventually you want to
Not in a
learn this.
flashy way too, though.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
this is what I found for myself. If I feel like the work I did was valuable to someone else,
Mhm.
that's when I feel like, oh,
Yes.
but like looking successful with all the other shit, like that means nothing. Like that doesn't give me any like validation or like feel good feelings. It's like, okay. But it's like, it's when people are like, oh, this helped me, or I can feel that they're learning or getting value from
Yeah.
me. Or like my conversation was valuable. It doesn't even have to be about business. It's like, that's when I feel
Yes.
successful. I'm like, oh, that was good. That was, yeah, helped someone.
Yeah, so projectors are big on needing to be seen for their superpowers, okay?
Right.
It's not just like, "Oh, you look beautiful. I love your eyebrows and lips." Like, no, I mean, yes, that's true, but like that
Yeah.
doesn't matter to Carly. That doesn't like
It's
that's not
in
gonna.
here. It's the
Yes.
seeing this. But I bet there's a lot of projectors who get confused because maybe they got that feeling from how they looked at some point, or it could have been something else more external. But it's
Mhm.
like, it's the superpower. That's
Yeah.
when you feel the best, when that's seen.
So I think I remember from your chart that one of your superpowers is talking about really intense, in-depth emotional things that people are scared to talk about, and like helping them go there. So if like at the end of the day, somebody DMs you and they're like, "Oh my God, Carly, I listened to this one episode. Like I started crying. I haven't been able to think about that since I was 6 years old. And I'm going to go start doing psilocybin to get some help with PTSD and whatever." You'd be like, crying, you'd be like, "Oh my God, if I did nothing else today, then I feel fucking successful," you
Yeah.
know?
I got a message like that the other day. And I'm like, that
Oh,
makes all the time I put into the podcast worth it. Because I'm like, if someone else can get that from me just sharing myself and my life, it's like, that makes me feel successful,
mhm.
regardless of, there's no monetary value attached.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's not any of that. It's just like, oh yes, this helped you. Amazing.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So projectors success, manifestors is peace. This is so interesting. Um, First of all, manifestors a lot of times have throat chakra issues and thyroid issues. that is their most intense chakra center, energy center. And a lot of times, especially women, are not using it. They are not speaking their truth. They don't sometimes don't even know what their truth is. They're not speaking their desires out loud. They're not even allowing themselves to desire certain things. So manifestors, first of all, really need to work on their throat chakra energy, like a ton, especially women manifestors. The feeling of peace is interesting because a lot of time, okay, manifestors are the type, like I've seen manifestors in network marketing that it's like, oh my God, they go from nothing to the top of the company in 3 months. Like that's how powerful. Everybody can be that way. You're a projector, so like literally everybody can be that way. But manifestors are just like real, like little fire starters. But a lot of times they are not aware of their power and they also block themselves. So peace is their signature. So sometimes manifestors might, and other people too, might be subconsciously afraid of making a lot of money because it will cause problems, they
Mm.
think. Do you know what I mean? Like they might have seen families growing up where they were really rich and they were raised by a nanny and didn't have their mom around or like whatever.
Mm.
Like I've experienced a lot of this firsthand with people. And so they have this subconscious block to, if I get to this level or make this amount of money, or like my husband's going to be pissed at me if I make more money than him, or what, like different things that will cause the opposite of peace, that will cause
Mm.
chaos. So a lot of times they really need to work on like what they're subconsciously scared of and what they think good things that they want might bring chaos instead of peace. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then also they really need to tap into peace every day, whether that is walking in nature without freaking earbuds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very hard to do these days, but it's helpful for everybody. Meditating, being still, like quieting your mind, and then also feeling like what usually we try to go reach certain goals for certain things that we think it'll bring. And you want to just be like, will this bring me peace? Will
Mm.
this bring me peace? Will this bring me peace? For manifestors, that's really, really huge. And then reflectors is surprise. My daughter's a reflector, and we try to like do one surprise for her every day. Not always like, the other day it was ice cream, but I don't do that all the time. Just like something where it's like that was out of the blue and it's like exciting for her. She
Mm.
just freaking thrives on that. So really making sure you have this signature feeling at least some during the day. If not, like try to tap in once an hour or set your alarm for 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m. and be like, am I feeling
Right.
satisfied? What would make me feel satisfied right now? Am I feeling successful? Okay, I've done all my tasks that I had to do today and I don't feel successful. What would make me feel successful?
Right.
So that is a huge deal, the signature feeling. I wanted to talk about really so in human design, we talk about magnetism, but it's different than the magnets that we learn about in school, like the two sides. We are a monopole. So have one thing that attracts God, source energy, creator energy. We only attract God energy, and then the density of our human life earth experience is all the other stuff that's not so great, like the fear that our amygdala is holding on to and like all of that kind of stuff. But really we are meant to only attract love, God, source energy, and other people that are on the same level. In order to do that, especially in sales and like network marketing and building a business, you have to like get rid of all those other little filaments that are like attached to you that are dirty, that are making your magnet monopole not powerful. So you have
Ooh.
to decondition and like clean your magnet. And so the secret to success, like using human design, is total authenticity, vulnerability, and transparency. Okay. So Carly, I think one of the reasons that you're very successful is because you talk about all the shit, like the not pretty parts of stuff. So people, even though you're physically beautiful, I think that if you weren't talking about all that and you were just like acting like everything was cool, I don't think you'd be as successful.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. I do.
Um,
Because
wh-
people I find in this space too, especially like I don't know, from the past more traditional sense of network marketing, thought they had to look perfect,
Mhm,
presentable, corporate. Like they saw it as corporate success,
mhm,
where I feel like the newer generation were all like, yeah, you can be in the mess. And that's actually more relatable than
mhm.
being prim, proper, and perfect because no one can see themselves in that.
Yeah,
And so I
yeah,
find like when you show, yeah, the authenticity and full transparency, that makes people trust you. And
mhm,
ultimately, what is the factor that makes you successful? Do people feel like they know you, like you, and trust you? And if you have
mhm.
all three of those things, you're going to be way more successful than someone who feels like there's something off, that they can't fully believe in
Yeah.
you and trust you.
And the know, like, trust thing, here's the deal. No one can know us, like us, and trust us unless we know ourselves, like ourselves, and freaking trust ourselves. And I'm not there yet, honestly. Like 5 years into teaching human design, I still am like, is this my sacral? Like, what am I like? Am I overriding this logically with my
Mhm.
brain of like what numbers say and blah, blah, blah? So just be easy on yourself, but
Yep.
you have to work first on know, liking, and trusting yourself
Mm.
before you can expect other people to know, like, and trust you. But being vulnerable, transparent, and then authentic is helpful. And I mean, it's really the secret sauce. So, like, to give an example, in selling products, if you're in a company that where you sell products, do talk about the products that you don't use and just be like, this is a great product. I heard my friend blah, blah, blah uses it. I don't use it. And talk about products that your company doesn't represent that you do use, because it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like, "Oh my god, I will not touch another lip gloss," or something. I don't
Yep.
know, like, you can be like, "Hey, I use castor oil on my eyebrows to help
Yeah.
them." And, and your
Yeah.
company
Yeah.
might not sell castor oil. That like, as long as you don't make this stuff up, obviously, as long as you're
Yeah.
honest, then people are like, "Oh, okay. I can trust her because she's not lying and being like, you will not find a single non blah 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 company anywhere in my house because blah blah blah." Which, if that is true, then that's fine. You're allowed to say that. But if you do have other stuff, you're like allowed to
Yeah.
say that
Don't hide it.
too.
Yes,
Don't
exactly.
you think?
Yeah.
So anyways, this will make you more trustworthy and people will buy the things from you that you do use and like, and they'll just trust you. Where it's like, okay, I like, I don't know, like this fizz flavor, but I'm not really a fan of this fizz flavor, but my mom's obsessed with it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
that kind of thing. Recruiting and coaching. I would definitely let them know, like let uh future hopeful team members know what parts of the business you love and what parts you don't resonate with or don't want to, or you're not like, it's not a superpower for you, right?
Mhm.
Like for some people it's like, really don't like doing in-home skincare parties, but I freaking love doing an in-person vision board event. And
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
That kind of thing, because people can sense what you like and don't like.
Right. Well, and people have different, again, superpowers. Like there's
Yeah.
certain things that you're going to be really good at and other things that are just not your thing. Like I've always said in-home events for me, when I try to invite clients, nobody comes.
Mhm.
Like I've still been able to be successful, but for my people, they'd rather talk to me on the phone.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had to try all the avenues, like in-home events, doing different things, right? And it was like for me personally, more of my people would prefer to talk to me on the phone than
Mhm.
come to an event. Where for
Yeah.
other people, no one's going to want to go on the phone with you and they're going to love your events. And so
Mhm.
it's like figure out what works for you and then just be honest. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to pretend like all of it, because all of it works, but all of it works for different people.
Yeah.
And so it's just like what works best for you and then follow that. I always say, I'm like, when you find your thing that you know you get results from, lean into that fully and keep going with that thing, because that could be your superpower in this business. Don't do all the other stuff that you're like, oh, I hate it. Like Facebook parties came online and so many people were doing them. And
Mhm.
that's amazing that they've worked for a lot of people. Not my thing.
Mhm.
It feels annoying. It doesn't feel good to me. Like it's like an annoying thing I don't want to have to do. So I
Yeah.
don't do it. But I know that I can get results from something else. So I do that. So it's like finding what your thing is and then fully leaning into that and going with it, because it's like everyone's gonna look different. You don't have to build your business like
Mhm.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many people in network marketing who they loved in-person things, but what they ended up doing was curating the in-person events around their superpowers and what they wanted to talk about and all of that kind of stuff. And they'd have the products and business info there as well. But usually then they would just book out a ton of one-on-ones with rock stars who were obsessed with them, who wanted to just like chat and like have a one-on-one Q&A session about all
Right.
of the stuff instead. So like,
Well, okay, can you give an example? So like for people who figure out like, okay, what's the thing you love? I had who the heck was I talking to? Yesterday we were talking to someone and she was saying how she wanted to lean more into like she loves the woo-woo stuff and she loves spirituality and she loves limiting beliefs and like helping break that down. And it was like, kid, go to events around that. You don't have to do the traditional, like it can still be in home. It could still be within an event. It could still be having your podcasts,
mhm,
products showcased,
mhm,
um,
yeah,
and using everything that you already have, but then you do it around something that you're passionate about and excited about. And even for her, I was like, she accidentally said, spiritual workout or said something like manifesting workouts. She meant to say manifesting workshops. And I was like, what if you really did manifesting workouts though?
yep,
Like, hold on a second. There could be
yeah,
something here because I'm like, you love to do exercise and workouts and then pull that piece into it.
yep,
And now you pulled two things you love together. So it's like getting creative with what you love because that's going to shine through and attract your people,
yep,
like your tribe, because it's like they're going to be interested in the same stuff as you. Just another thought I was thinking, like if you end up doing events like this for anyone listening, put them on Eventbrite. Because if you have random, like people will search and you can bring in random people literally through throwing an event on Eventbrite. So just as an extra tip, because when I threw a retreat, we had random people come because they found it through Eventbrite, not even through our own
mhm,
marketing. So just something to add in there. Do that.
dude, okay, so I had a girl that I coached and she just started doing mocktail bars, like create your own mocktail thing. And so what she would do is she would, have you heard of kava? Kava.
Mm-hmm.
So not
Love it.
all kava's the same. I love this one guy that it's out of Dallas, Texas, and it is like you feel like a buzz. Like it is real nice.
Oh
So
yeah.
she would do kava and fizz sticks because kava doesn't taste so good. But if you do fizz
Yeah.
sticks with it, first of all, it like really enhances that because when you do an energy with that dopamine
Yeah.
hit, it's like extra. And then you have like a 4 hour energetic vibe going on to like go work out or get stuff done or
Yeah.
whatever. And she would just make it, she had like 4 or 5 different cocktail recipes, and then you could make it with the different things. And people, because of the kava, first of
Love
all,
it.
it wasn't alcoholic, which there's nothing wrong with alcohol either, but sometimes people get a little bit like they feel a high while they're doing it and then the next day they feel low and then they don't really want anything to do with you because do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's weird. I've had
Okay,
that
so for
happen.
people listening that don't know, kava is basically essentially like a natural source that gives you a buzz. So similar to like how people would use alcohol, people use kava in place of that. And it's almost like a plant-based medicine, essentially.
Mhm,
It's like really I was with a Uber driver actually in Hawaii and he was saying that they use it ceremonially there.
mhm.
And I was like, interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and you could do that too at your like mocktail bar. You could do a little ceremony or ritual or like say a prayer, or say an intention or do some kind of
Yeah.
blessing over it. We should be doing that really all the time with our coffee, with our matcha, with our water. You liquid, that's a whole other thing. Did you listen to Kelly Brogan's thing on water? Holy
No.
shit. Okay, I got to send it to you. Anyways, basically
But
we're
it's true
doing
because guys, matcha, coffee, they're plant medicines.
mhm,
And so the same way that you would do psilocybin or ayahuasca, those are more intense, of course. But like coffee, for example, if that is meant to help you with like your brain capacity to
mhm,
make you feel alert and focused and like it's there to serve you, but we overuse it so much where it's like bring awareness back and like she said, say a blessing, a prayer, build a relationship with it because we're overusing it like
mhm,
crazy. It's been
mhm.
capitalized on and it's meant to be a plant medicine to serve us. So like to have that
Yeah.
awareness. Same thing with matcha.
Yeah, and if you'll just even just before having the first sip, say something like God or whatever you believe in, infuse this matcha with detoxing capabilities, with a stimulating, nice, calm feel, help me not drink more than I need, help it turn into nutrients in my body and minerals in my body, help it not leach me of whatever you're drinking. You can even do it with alcohol. Like it affects it. Like it do whatever. But anyways, like that would be a really fun idea is to do like a kava bar and then try the different fizz sticks or whatever y'all have, or you can apply this to any way, anything. But if you
The
want to get more
intention.
woo, yeah,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
just infuse. yeah, if somebody's woo woo and they want ideas, just DM me because I have a billion
So many
ideas. So
ideas. Yeah.
make it fun, make it be an event or workshop or whatever that you look forward to, not that you are like, oh my God, I wish I didn't like, I wish I could just fast forward 3 hours and be done with that. That's a problem. Might as well not do it. Like it's just, we got a mindset issue here. So create events that are fun for you,
Mhm.
that you're going to have fun with.
Well, and then
Um,
that gives other people fun, and it makes it not weird. Like,
yeah.
and I feel like when you do that, it changes the game of what people feel network marketing is, because I always say when I do an event, I wanna make sure that the people leaving are like, "Wait, that wasn't weird. That was actually really fun. I had a good
Mhm.
time." Because
Mhm.
I want to change the image of, like, the Tupperware party or the candlelight party where they felt forced to buy product. Like, I never want people to feel like that, and so I
Mhm.
make it my mission that every event I do, I never wanna let people feel that way when they leave. So it's like, make that your mission and intention also.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay, so I did want to talk about strategy. How much time do we have?
It's fine. Let's just
Okay.
go through it.
I did want to talk about strategy really quick because that's a huge part of the human design chart. And sort of once you start digging deeper, you can utilize this to really navigate all decisions, especially like how you're using your day, what business, actions you're doing, and all of that kind of stuff, who you're reaching out to, whatever. So the strategy for, I'll start with projectors since that's you. The strategy for projectors is what's called wait to be invited. Um, the reason that this is because projectors are so sensitive to the energies of others. There really needs to be a clear invitation from somebody else before engaging in a new opportunity, relationship, or project. And this ensures that you're only interacting with people that truly appreciate you and see you and your gifts. So for projectors more than any other type, you want to make sure to find out your superpowers. You can do that easily on your chart. It's your 4 numbers and your incarnation cross. You can go Google it. You can come to my podcast, whatever. You can go figure it out. Pay attention to those superpowers, put them on display, whether that's in a podcast or on YouTube or on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever. Put your superpowers out there. Your superpowers are going to have nothing to do with products you sell. They just aren't. Unless some people have like the body line gate is activated. And so that's like physical body and detoxing and stuff. So that might be a situation where you do talk about 30 days to healthy living or whatever. But pretty much it's not going to have to do with your business or your products. It's going to have to do with like tapping into people's emotions. Mine is left cross of separation. So I am really here to show that we are all so different. Separation sounds like bad, but it's like a beautiful thing. We're all so very different,
Yeah.
and we all like have different rules to our game. Like it's not the same thing, doesn't work for every person. And I'm also big on like non-conformity and going against the rules. It's very Sagittarius, Aquarius vibes. Like that's me.
Mhm.
So as long as I'm talking about like, okay, let's tear this system down. Let's do something different. Let's like go total new paradigm. Like as long as I'm talking about something like that, people will be really attracted to me.
Mm.
So when you put those things on display, you're going to get invitations. People are going to be like, oh my God, I want to hear more. Or, hey, hold on, what do you do for a living? Like, tell me a little bit more about that. How are you just like having this, like, is this
Wait,
what
I'm
you do
so
for a living?
curious. My 4, I wanna talk to you about them after, because 'cause I'm like, "What are mine?
Yes.
I need to know."
Yes.
But anyways,
I
yeah.
thought
For
I
all of
got to,
you, you guys need to do a full reading, okay? I just wanna say that too, because, like, when you understand these things, they will build your business for you when you tap in. I also wanna say on the projector thing, some people take waiting for the invitation literally. Like, "I'm just gonna stay in my house and, like, someone's gonna invite me in." No, you need to be out there sharing
Mhm.
everything else, and then it's gonna attract the right people to you to have the conversation to like build
Mhm.
your network marketing business, for example. But I've seen projectors be like, I'll just sit on my pillow and I'll
Mm-mm.
just attract it to me and be waiting for the invitation.
Mm-mm.
No, because waiting energy is not what that means. It's like you're not just sitting there waiting. You're out there doing your thing, and then the invitations come where people are like, wait, tell me more about that, because you're
Mhm.
operating, doing the things that align with your gifts. So don't just sit there and hope and pray someone's going to come around and see you. That's not how it works. You have to put yourself out there to be seen, then the invitations come.
Yes. And if anybody's freaking out about this of like, oh my God, waiting for people to contact me, I am going to talk after the strategy about the 100-person list and like an idea I have for it that's helpful for any type so that you at least have somewhere to start while you're practicing all these things.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to like change everything cold turkey. So I get that. And I want you to feel like you're in activity and not just like doing nothing. So projectors, that's like a huge deal. Projectors more than any other need to know what their gifts are and their superpowers and have people in their lives that see them for those superpowers. So get yourself in a community where people know about human design so that they can like make you like know they know who you really are and they can like start inviting you for things that feels
Mhm.
really good. So I like with my husband, he's a projector. I try every day to ask him for a little advice, even though like I don't really always mean it, and I'm like asking God to show me more and more that I need to go to him for direction and advice,
Mhm.
but I do it just to build his confidence as a projector.
Mhm.
So projectors need to get themselves around other people who know that they're projectors and how special projectors are. So
Mhm.
go to our first episode if you want to deep dive into these types. But generators and manifesting generators are the strategy is to respond. So wait for external cues, for signs, for opportunities, for your like gut saying yes
Mhm.
to like come to you before engaging. Don't just do reach outs for the sake of reach outs. Like sit and look at your 100-person list or look at your followers or look at who's been viewing your stories. And if any one person, it's like, oh, that person excites me, that is a cue to reach out. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes you will like, okay, this is where I come back to the every what is it called? The daily method for success. You have a list and it's like do 5 every day. So you're just like, oh, just let me get through the 5. And you just do it with zero intention. It's like tune into your body, bring into the feeling. Where do you feel pulled to?
Mhm.
And you will. Like, let's say you're scrolling through a list, you're like, huh, this person, and you're going to say something and like do the reach or ask or create a conversation, whatever you do. And it's like that is going to lead to such better results than like mindlessly doing it to like copy paste and just get it done. And you're not paying
Mhm.
attention. Like you need to
Mhm.
bring awareness and intention into your body before you send any message.
Mhm.
And like, I truly believe that the frequency sent through a phone, there's frequency attached, there's physics, there's all these things, right? And I'm like, people feel the energy coming through the phone. So if
Mhm.
there's zero intentionality, zero connection, people feel it. And then you wonder why you get left on red. But like, I feel like a lot of the time it's because there wasn't that actual connection and engagement happening. So like
Mhm.
bring yourself into that first. And then also, I don't think you can ever feel bad about a message not replied to when it comes from that space.
Mhm.
Because you're like, you did come from your heart. You did come from a service place. You did come from good intention. So you can't feel bad if someone doesn't reply. You're like, oh, like they could be busy. They just didn't get it. They don't understand yet. It's fine. And you don't feel any type of way.
Yep.
So I think that's really important too.
I would also suggest for literally everybody, regardless of what type you are, create either a mantra, intention, or prayer before you do reach outs that says, and use whatever words you want. This is off the cuff. So I would say, God, I'm getting ready to reach out to this person. Please speak through me. Please help me have good intentions. Help me detach from the results. Help me to bring goodness to this person's life. Help this person to receive this message with like the intentions of like, she's just wanting to help me. There's nothing attached, no strings attached, no, you know what I mean? No needy energy, like whatever. Say whatever you can. And you can say the same thing for every reach out beforehand. I promise it will make all the freaking difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It truly will.
Yeah. And I feel like for people who are listening, because I know there's lots of people who are Christian who follow who are in network marketing, or like I know you study Kabbalah and all that too. And it's like it doesn't matter like what your background is, prayer, intention, manifestation, like mantra, like all of it is that. It's like
Mhm.
it's that intention setting and direct connection with God to like have it speak through you.
Yeah.
So it's not
And
woo woo or weird. It's like
yeah.
it works.
And for anybody who is Christian, um, this is something that I've been, even since you and I spoke last, like over a year ago, that it's been real interesting for me because I grew up in the church. I went away from the church, got super into spirituality and this obviously. And now it's like, I don't know that I will go to church again because
Mhm.
I, I have a whole thing with that. But like Jesus is chasing me right now. It's crazy. It's like wild. And I also
Just
know that,
Christ consciousness, right?
yes,
And that's the
yes,
part is like Jesus was anyways, I'm gonna do a spirituality podcast after
yeah,
this, but it's like it's been so taken over by the church that it's ruined what Christ consciousness really is. And so
yeah,
I think once you tap into that, you'll start to get it in a different way than like the
yes.
signs on the street that say, Jesus, repent your sins. And you're like, no, that's not that's not it.
It's I know you're in Canada and I'm in Texas. I'm in the US, but it's almost like what big government has done.
Yes.
It's like freedom and then big government. It's like Jesus and then church. No bueno. Anyways, whole other thing. But I'm just saying, if you're a Christian, reach out to me because I can help navigate you through this. You do not need to be scared of it at all.
Well, yes. Okay. Because that's another piece. If you are a Christian, I doubt you've even listened to this episode for a lot of people, right? Like I know I have people I'm going to send this to, but there's belief that like any of this is like the devil and witchery and witchcraft and all that. And it's like, no, to me, I'm just like, God is creation. Obviously, planets and moons were his creation too. So like it's the most naive, insane thing to think that there isn't a connection with us and them.
Mhm.
How can there not be? And human design looks at that. And on a very deep soul level, it's all intentional placement of the time. It's divine timing. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know how that could not be God. And when it's this clear, it's like it's
Yeah.
helping you understand you.
Yeah. That's what I would say. If human design helps you feel relief or better, just go with it. If not, then maybe it's not the right time for you, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Totally okay. Okay, strategy for manifestors is to inform. So these are the people that are meant to do reach outs all the time, as they'll feel led to do them, but you are meant to speak, you are meant to do your reach outs. I think it's great for everybody to do reach outs with their voice just because there's a certain frequency that comes with your voice versus typing, but to each their own. Manifestors, for sure. You have to use a voice text. You have to. Your throat chakra is your most important energy center for manifestors, and you've just got to use it. But manifestors are very much like leaders, and they need to really feel a sense of peace on their way to success. But they can make that happen like real fast. So what's weird is I don't know a whole lot of pure manifestors in network marketing. Y'all need more.
I was just texting Steph asking if she's one.
Okay. Okay.
I think she might
Yeah.
be. I was gonna
We
ask.
need we need some more examples. Reflectors, their strategy is wait a
Yeah,
lunar
she
cycle.
is.
Okay, cool.
Mhm. It's interesting.
Reflectors,
I'll wait for her to listen. Okay.
did you just know that she was? You
Yeah.
had a feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, wait, you're a manifestor, aren't you? She was like,
Yeah.
yes. Why?
There's not many.
Yeah.
It's sort of crazy. Reflectors, there's not many. There's just reflectors are less than 1% of the population, so they're just really, really rare. They're great to have in a network marketing team because they're sort of like they always know the health of the team and the health
Mhm.
of the environment. And as long as like Carly, if you have one in your like local team, you definitely want to like get in touch with them once a week and just be like, what are you feeling? How is that Zoom meeting? How is
Mhm.
everything feeling? How are the dynamics feeling? Because they can really feel the health of the team as a whole, which is really cool.
Right.
Their strategy, it is a monthly thing. They are monthly lunar beings more than even us just regular women. And they really need to wait a whole month to decide how things feel for them. So for sure with reflectors, I would do the monthly reach outs on when you ovulate, and then just throughout the rest of the weeks, follow up with those people, follow up with
Mhm.
your clients, do fun things. If you need a little more energy as a reflector, just because you're totally open, have like a accountability buddy that's like a generator or man-gen. That's helpful for projectors and manifestors too. Projectors, manifestors, and reflectors, they get energy from other people, from being around other people, sometimes from kiddos, and sometimes that's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So but that's probably why you're a little more energetic. And it's good to have an accountability buddy that has a sacral. So that's that. Yeah, that's all I have human design wise. I would definitely grab your authority and your profile as well. I'll give you my cheat sheets that are free so you have them for everybody. Use your 4 superpowers. You can Google it, you can reach out to me. I do every week I like give away a free human design mini reading, and I
Wait,
can
did
go
we
over
talk
your
about generators? Is that a type
generators. And manifesting generators are
or
to
similar?
respond.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Got
they
it.
have the same strategy. Yes, and same signature feeling of satisfaction.
Got it. Okay. They were grouped
For
together.
Manigens, for manifesting generators, come to me if you're a Manigen, because I can look at your chart and tell you if you have more generator energy or more manifester energy, and
Got
that
it.
will be helpful too.
Okay. Amazing.
Any
So
questions?
is there, yeah, I feel like for the reach out, let's like just if I don't know if you want to go into that a little bit
Oh,
more.
yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, do you want to talk about on that?
Yes. Do you have a question that you want
Well,
me
I
to?
was just gonna say because because I know you said voice and that's powerful. And I feel like no matter what it is, because it translates different, there's gonna be times where a text message can work too. Is there a type that's better off that could send a text and get away with it versus someone who's like, just don't do it? It's never gonna translate the same.
Manifestors have to use their voice. Every other type can sort of see what they feel like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool to know.
Yeah. Okay, with reach outs. So I think most network marketing companies do start with what they call a 100-person
Oh yeah,
list, which
yeah.
I like. And I think this is the way I usually coach people to set that up. And then I'm going to explain how to do it. So no matter if you've been in network marketing for a week or 10 years, just put your old 100-person list somewhere else. And I want you to now, at the beginning of 2025, start a new one. And this is how I usually have people do it. There's 4 groups of 25. So I want you to pick 25 people who are your favorite humans to like do life with, to like travel with, meet up at coffee shops with, go on retreats with, that kind of stuff. People you just want to hang out with, 25 people. If you don't know 25 people, you need to like go join a Crunchy Moms Facebook group or something. Like I live in a really small town in Texas, and I think our Crunchy Moms group has like 1,000 people in it. We only have 20,000 people in our town, which is probably big for some people. I don't know
Yeah.
where you live, but it's not huge. I came from Dallas, which was like 8 million people. So we have like 1,000 people in our Crunchy Moms group. And then I started a woo woo moms group and in a conservative Christian town, and we have like 100 people in it. So it's so fun. So if you
Which are
don't
like your people.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So go find your people and make friends if you don't have 25 people that you want to do life with. Okay. 25 people who have a large network and who are influential. 20 who are not already in another network marketing team, right? We don't that kind of thing.
Yeah.
25 people that are experts in one of the things that you sell. So either they're like health coaches or makeup artists or something. Like they're an expert in some sort of the thing. 25 people who, this is the last one. You'll like this one. 25 people who are super high consciousness and have done a ton of personal development, have deconditioned from people pleasing and external validation. Could you imagine coaching somebody who's like doesn't give a shit?
Oh, so great.
I mean, in a good way. Like I'm like,
Yeah, they're
oh
the
yeah,
easiest to work with because they're
yeah.
just ready to go.
They're like, I don't care what people think of me. I mean, obviously we're not narcissists, so we care a little bit what people think of me,
Yeah.
but it's like, hey, if people don't like me, it's fine. I love me. It's good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So that's your new 100-person list.
I like that
Is
breakdown.
those groups of 25. And
Okay,
then
hold on. Oh, sorry. Because it's like, and when you go to do this, you might be like, I don't know anyone who's influential, or like, I don't know anyone who's done the work. And then it's like, okay, if you know that you're the sum of the people, you need to go put yourself in rooms with people like this, because the likelihood that you are completely that when you don't have anyone else around you, like you need to get in communities then. Because for me, I've met so many people that I could fill out that list now, but I couldn't have until I started going to like Awaken or like Danny's Inner Circle or going to all of these things with like high level people, because I don't see them where I'm living. I don't meet them here. So it's like, it again don't act like a victim if you can't fill out this list, and go decide to put yourself in situations where those people are.
Exactly. So, and then when you have that 100-person list, then what you're going to do is use your human design chart to figure out a schedule that works best for you.
Mm,
Sometimes it's daily, sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's monthly, and then create a plan to reach out to those 100 people in some way over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. Have an accountability partner. Y'all do it. Say your little prayer before you do your reach out and just keep going. Like create a new 100-person list every quarter using this. If you're not meeting new people, then you're not getting out there. I mean, I just had a vision board like hangout in our little town this weekend. I legit added 30 new people to our Facebook group
mm,
from like planning that. And that's like a tiny Christian conservative town of like people who are not into woo woo, but they were.
right. Well, I
But I
feel
didn't
like,
have any,
yeah,
like I didn't, like, have any attachment. It was like, "Hey, if it's just me who shows up, that's fine," but, like, a ton of people showed up. I don't know, like, you have to, like, go do the things and then detach from them.
yeah, play. You have to play, like, and figure out what works and what doesn't work, and not get upset and feel like you're doomed if one thing doesn't work well. Sometimes it's like continuing to do that thing. Like I say a lot of the time too, your first event isn't going to have necessarily the same interest as your second event. Because once you show what the first event was like, or people have more of a feeling of what to expect, they're
Mhm,
more likely to want to plug in. At least that's
mhm,
what I found. They're like, oh, wait, that looked fun. And then they have FOMO and then they want to be at the next one.
totally.
Yeah. Okay, that was really helpful. The 100-person
Yay,
list. Yeah.
yay.
What else? Is there anything else you want to add in general regarding just like human design, network marketing, anything you found coaching all of these people? Um, Even like a success story that you found where like someone was, when they understood their human design, like something completely transformed for them. Do you have anything like that?
Mhm. One of my clients, I think she was, like, 1 month new into her network marketing company. She was a Manny Gen, but more manifester. And she was being taught just like the daily, you know, everybody does the same thing basically. And I walked her through more, we did like more the manifester stuff, and I was like, this is how you need to do it. You really need to be on a weekly basis or a monthly basis rather than daily dues. You need to tap into your energy. You need to be speaking your speaking through your throat chakra, speaking your truth.
Mhm.
She also had her ajna, AJNA center was defined, so she's meant to be very opinionated and speak about it. And she started being pretty spicy about a lot of stuff like vaccines, like different things online, which I think would be scary to some people, especially if you're starting a business. Be like, oh, I don't want to piss people off and offend people. She went to RVP. It wasn't like, I think it was, she went to area right away and then went to RVP like 9 months later, not doing a whole ton of work, not doing what her upline told her to do,
Right.
like doing it more as a manifester and about like speaking about spicy controversial things, and her team was attracted to her.
Of course. Because your vibe attracts your tribe. And so the thing with talking about controversial topics, it's like I, in 2020 talked about a lot, and then I moved away from it out of just like the energy of it all. I was like, I don't want to be engaged in this. And there's certain things that I feel like I need to talk about again. But I feel like when you do, yeah, you have people that like get so mad and can't stand you. But then your connection with the people who feel you and get you is so much deeper
Mhm.
that it helps you so much more than it hinders you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And to,
don't be afraid to speak your truth and your mind. And like, if you're not speaking about any of that stuff that could be kind of polarizing, it could be why you're not
Mhm.
attracting anybody, because
Yeah,
you're not showcasing any of you. You're just being vanilla. And
yeah,
in this place on social media, it's like, who are you? Are you just the
yeah,
person that's like, like talking from up here all the time? Like, what am I doing to connect with you?
yeah.
How do I
And
connect with
half of the people in the world are meant to be opinionated like she was, and half are not. I'm have an open ajna,
you?
and I used to get really spicy and opinionated and talk about it, and it was like yucky feeling and nobody liked it, like
Mm,
at all. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I'm like, there are certain things that I do stand for and whatever. And I was like, "Okay, so I need to learn to talk about it in a certain way where it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is what I think, but you know what? I might know nothing. I might, by the end of the day, God's like, you don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about." So, like, saying like my opinion and then also backing it
And
up with
open.
like, you never know, I might be wrong, is
Right.
my way of doing that, of
Right.
being not opinionated.
Yeah, because it matters. Because there's also a place where you can come across really like harsh
Hmm.
and mean in the
Hmm.
delivery. And so it's like some people, maybe that's what like they're meant to speak like.
Hmm.
And other people, that's going to backfire because it's coming out of like a different energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
It's
Okay.
wild. Everybody's so different. That's why you gotta grab your chart. So
Yes. I want to know mine again. I'm like, I need to go look. I'm like, am I defined? I think I
I was
am, right?
trying to pull it up. I got a new laptop and yours is on my old laptop, but you can
I
resend it to me and we can
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm like, I wonder what mine is. And then the 4 things, I'm like, I need to look at that again
what's
too.
yours.
Yeah.
We can go over that.
Yeah. This is so fun. Thank you for being here. And I
Yay.
feel like for all of you who are listening, I hope this was really helpful because if you pull from this and utilize it to
Mhm.
build your business, like you're going to have better results. And I feel like it's just getting into alignment. Like the work is the same. There's no avoiding the types of things you need to do to build your business. But it's like, how do you do it that feels good? And
Mhm.
creating more of an alignment around that will be so, so helpful for you. Um, yeah. And obviously, if you guys want to follow her on Instagram, it's you do woo. I don't know if you have any offers that you want to share, but getting a full reading, I feel, is so worth it. Just because it's like, once you understand it, you can always go back to it too. And then you just have it and you'll have a better understanding. Like when I first went through mine a while ago, and you can hear about this on the other episode that we did, I remember her being like, oh, at 30, you're going to go through this and like this phase of your life and this is what this means. And I was like, ah, like it gave me so much understanding about myself.
Mhm.
And when people would come to me like, but how do you do that? And how do you do that? And I was like, I don't know. And I don't understand why I'm different than you're different. It was like, oh, you can even utilize this to help people understand when you're building a team. Where like if you
So
understand their human
true.
design type, I'm building it in one way. Let's say manifesting generators trying to be like me, it's never going to work. They work so differently than I do. And so understanding that and then not feeling like you need to compare or work. For example, the projector trying to work like a manifesting generator because they're seeing that person have success when it could be completely opposite to how you need to work your business. And it can actually like make you feel exhausted and hinder your success. So it's just valuable.
So the people who start out knowing about human design when they start their network marketing business have better retention
Mm,
because they're not forcing anybody to join them that's not meant to be. And they're not like telling everybody to do things the same way. So it's
right.
going to be interesting because it's really like a hot topic now. So it's going to be really cool to see how much y'all grow in the next 5 to 10 years because of people starting their businesses already in alignment with their human design, you know? So
Hmm.
it's going to be wild to see what it's like.
It'll be cool. And you build out of what's in alignment to you, which is always more powerful. I love that. Amazing. Thank you for being here. Anything you want to share about things that you have going on?
Totally. I think I still I'll make sure I have 20% off for your listeners if they do
Okay.
want a full reading or come tune in. I give free mini readings away in a raffle every week and then they can grab their free cheat sheet. I'll send you the link
Okay.
for that too. Yep,
Amazing.
that's all.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, go get a reading. It's going to be so beneficial for you and your business. And make sure you do that 100% nameless because that's so helpful too. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.